Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
This is the Closing Bell on the Stock Movers Report. The companies making moves at the close of U.S. trading with Carol Massar, Tim Stenovec, Romaine Bostick, and Scarlett Fu.
226 names gaining ground in today's session. 276, Katie, to the downside, one unchanged.
Let's take a look at the sector level as well. There was more red than green, but the green that was pretty notable. You had communication services as a sector higher by 3.8%. That is thanks in a big way to Alphabet. You also had the tech sector rallying as well. It's probably thanks to Apple. Consumer discretionary also in the green, as too was staples just slightly. What didn't do too hot today, energy down in a big way, as too was the industrial sector.
All right, guys, let's get to some of the individual gainers as we await a batch of earnings. Top of mind is certainly Alphabet, but let's go to Salesforce because they're breaking.
Yeah, Salesforce right now, the ticker CRM, and you're seeing a big move in the shares here in the after hours trade. The company says the second quarter sales did come in at about $2.27 billion. That's only a smidge of what the street was expecting. 2.24 was the average of analyst estimates. The bottom line number, EPS, $2.91 a share. That's up from $2.56 in the year ago period. I need to take a closer look to get you how that compares to the average of analyst estimates. But here's your guidance going forward. For the current quarter, the company says 3Q revenue, $10.24 billion to $10.29 billion. The street, on average, was looking for $10.29 billion. So the top end of that range, just meeting the average of analyst estimates. And for the full year, guys, $41.1 to $41.3 billion. That is slightly higher than its previous estimates, or at least the low end of 41.0 to 41.3. So it looks like it met the most recent estimates for the second quarter, but it looks like for the third quarter and for the full year, guiding relatively in line with estimates with a slight bias to the downside.
Yeah, the stock's been under pressure this year, and investors still not impressed. The stock's down about 5% here in the aftermarket. Looking at Mark Benioff, the chair, CEO of Salesforce, saying we delivered an outstanding quarter to close out the first half of the year. Strong performance across revenue, margin, cash flow. He says he remains on track for fiscal 2026 to be a record year with nearly $15 billion in operating cash flow. But, we talked to Anurag Rana, who covers this company for our BI. And he says, part of it is, they kind of need a little bit of a catalyst that a lot of people in terms of their enterprise software spending already have done it. And so maybe it's not until 2026 that we start to see some numbers move in here. All right. So we're going to continue to watch Salesforce, as we mentioned, under pressure here in the aftermarket. As I mentioned, Alphabet, that was definitely an outperformer, top name in the S&P and the NASDAQ 100, a gain of about 9% in today's session. The story broke late yesterday. U.S. antitrust ruling, not as severe as feared. Google will be required to share online search data. But the big thing is they're not going to be forced to sell off its Chrome business. So definitely saw investors move into that one. Another kind of offshoot of that ruling that benefit is a company named Opera. OPRA is the ticker. That stock was up almost 11% in today's session. It's a web browser company. They've got a partnership with Google. And so this company definitely benefiting as well. B. Riley saying it sees incremental positives for Opera given the likelihood of status quo for their Opera Google search partnership over the medium term. So we definitely saw investors move into some different names as a result of that ruling. Got to mention Macy's up 20% in today's session. Owner of Bloomingdale's and Bluemercury as well. Jumping after the company reported adjusted earnings per share for the second quarter that beat estimates, and they boosted their forecast for the full year. Also posted the best comp sales growth in 3 years. Did warn of a fickle consumer. And I'm going to skip my last one because I feel like I've talked enough today.
Yeah.
No, Carol, you're doing great. But you know what? If you want me to do decliners.
I like this new Carol. She's turned over a new leaf.
This is what 2 weeks of vacation does, right? Yes. Hey, I want to start out with three stocks that are in the S&P 500 that led the declines today. Intuitive Surgical, ISRG, down 6% today. Shares tumbled intraday to their lowest level since April after executives of the company gave cautious comments during a presentation at the Wells Fargo Healthcare Conference earlier. You know them. They make the Da Vinci surgical robot that is used worldwide. The company's CFO said during the presentation that tariff impact is expected to be higher in 2026. Also said that gross margins for 2025 will be at about 66%. The company previously said they'd be between 66 and 67%. Also saying the company is seeking greater challenges when it comes to international markets. Also, ConocoPhillips shares falling about 4.4%. The company plans to cut as much as a quarter of its global workforce amid lower crude prices and expectations of peaking shale output. Katie, head on over to Hewlett-Packard Enterprise because they're out with earnings.
Yeah, absolutely. HPE is your ticker here. Here is a redhead on the Bloomberg terminal. Fourth quarter adjusted EPS, 56 cents to 60 cents. The estimate had been for 59 cents. So you can see a range there being met with disappointment. Shares currently off about 4% rather. They also see their full year free cash flow about $700 million. They had seen about $1 billion. The estimate had been for $1.3 billion. So a few different things to pick out here. I will say the third quarter adjusted EPS came in at 44 cents. The estimate had been for 43 cents, but it's that fourth quarter outlook that seems to be sinking shares in the after hours right now, Carol.
Got another one sinking in the after hours. We're talking about GitLab. It's down about 3% here in the aftermarket. Let's go right to the outlook. The company still sees fiscal year revenue of about $936 million to $942 million. The street estimate was for $940 million. So maybe there's some concerns about a little bit of a wide gap, if you will, and maybe a little bit more to the downside. GitLab sees third quarter revenue of $238 to $239 million. The street estimate is $241.5 million. So that for the third quarter is below what the street's been expecting. And then let's go back to what happened in the second quarter. Second quarter adjusted EPS, 24 cents a share, folks. That's a beat of about 8 cents a share. And then GitLab second quarter revenue, $236 million, also a beat, $227.4 million, but you can see, Romaine, big hit in the aftermarket.
And I just want to point out, too, because that Salesforce is actually dragging down a lot of the other software stocks. And there was a lot of concern coming into this earnings season about the durability in that space. We're getting earnings out of Asana and PagerDuty, and we're awaiting earnings out of Figma, which, of course, had been the darling. I should just point out those shares now down 8% in the after-hours trade, though they have not reported results just yet. We're still waiting on them.
I'm watching American Eagle Outfitters shares. They're surging in the after hours, up 9% as we speak. The company out with second quarter net revenue that did beat estimates. The company also noting that net revenue coming in at $1.28 billion. That was beating estimates of $1.23 billion. Total stores came in above estimates at 1,185. Also some commentary about recent high-profile ad campaigns.
Who?
Yeah, from American Eagle, the fall season is off to a positive start, fueled by stronger product offerings and the success of recent marketing campaigns with Sydney Sweeney and Travis Kelce. We've seen an uptick in consumer awareness, engagement, and comp sales.
It's all about the good genes, right?
That's what the ad said.
All news is good news.
Yeah, I guess so.
The Stock Movers Report from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.